Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into a story that caused a huge stir online recently.
Yeah, we're talking about that 4th of July firework accident, the one
Right.
involving the LA rapper and No Jumper co-host, 4Extra.
Right. And for this deep dive, we've pulled together quite a mix of sources.
We're looking at YouTube channels like SETI Nash Reloaded, Compton RACC or ICTV, No Jumper clips, sort of the raw, immediate reactions.
Plus more traditional news reports too, right? Like The Sun, The Independent.
Exactly, and even stuff from Reddit, capturing that instant public response.
Okay, so our goal here is to unpack what really went down, try to get clarity on his injuries, his recovery path,
Explore how people reacted, which was pretty varied.
definitely, and pull out some key lessons maybe about fireworks safety and just how conversations happen online these days. Let's get into it.
So the main event was July 4th, 2025.
Yeah. And 4Extra, his real name's Razan. He's recording a video, holding a firework.
And he makes this joke, which in hindsight is just,
Yeah.
yeah. He said something like, "Who wants to get blown up today? I'm going to blow your up."
And almost immediately after, one of those fireworks just went off in his hand.
Right in his hand. Detonated. And the initial reports, based on the video snippets floating around, they were bad.
Really bad, like losing multiple fingers, a thumb.
Yeah, some were saying 3 middle fingers and the thumb. Even speculation his hand might need to be amputated further up, like down to the wrist. Talk of a potential nub.
That sounds horrific.
Yeah.
But thankfully, that wasn't quite the full picture, was it?
No, thankfully. Adam22, who owns No Jumper, he clarified things on X, Twitter.
And the Sun picked that up too.
Yeah, they corroborated it. The official word became that 4Extra lost only 2 fingers. Still devastating, obviously, but not his entire hand.
Okay, that's, well, slightly better news, relatively speaking. What about the reports of blindness?
There was definite concern about that initially. He was reportedly blind right after the blast, but apparently his sight came back after a few hours, which is just a massive relief,
Absolutely huge. But it wasn't just him injured, right? The explosion happened inside a car.
That's the other really terrible part. He was in a car, apparently about to throw it out the window when it went off.
So contained blasts.
Exactly. And the reports say his friend, the driver, might have lost an ear, part of their face, even an eye.
Oh, man. That just shows you these aren't toys. Some sources call them handheld bombs.
And that's not really an exaggeration with some of these consumer fireworks, especially the illegal ones. It underlines a huge danger.
And the stats around the 4th of July back this up, don't they? ERs see a massive spike.
Oh, absolutely. Tens of thousands of injuries just in early July. It's a serious public safety issue every single year.
So how's 4Extra doing now? What's the latest on his recovery?
Well, he put out an update himself on Instagram not long after. Pretty defiant, actually.
What did he say?
Something like, "Ens thought it was over, God is good," and he promised a fast recovery.
And visually, have there been updates, people seeing him?
Yeah, reports from those around him suggest he's, doing good, looks healthy, still has that sternness people know him for. Seems like he ain't missed a beat, as one source put it.
What about his hand specifically? Is it like the initial worst fears or?
It seems better than those initial fears. Looks like he still has a bit of his hand, not totally shaved down to the wrist.
Okay.
Maybe part of his thumb is gone, and obviously the 2 fingers, but hopefully keep some dexterity there.
Let's hope so. And there was a GoFundMe started.
Yeah, his sister, Emily, set one up.
Yeah.
To help with medical bills. She described him as someone who, lights up every room with his humor and energy.
What was the goal?
They were aiming for $28,000.
And how did it do? I saw some different numbers floating around.
Yeah, that's interesting. The Independent said over $7,600 at one point. SETI Nash mentioned $13,000. No Jumper clips reported $8,000.
So it varies, shows how fast things move online, I guess. But still, a decent amount raised, especially when some apparently thought he wouldn't get much support.
Definitely. He's clearly got support from friends, family, and reports say some celebrities even reached out.
Anyone specific mentioned?
Kevin Gates, actually, which is really notable.
Oh, wow. Because Gates himself is an amputee, right?
Right.
From a leg injury.
Exactly. So you'd imagine he'd have some unique and probably valuable insights to share with 4Extra about navigating something like this, physically, mentally.
That kind of peer support must be huge, especially when you're dealing with such a public traumatic event.
For sure. Looking ahead, he's obviously got more medical stuff, rehab.
Right. And what about his future? There's been talk, hasn't there?
Yeah, some speculation. Could he maybe use this this virality. Some suggested things like boxing, maybe down in Mexico for some quick wins to sort of regain his footing financially, stay relevant.
Hmm. Interesting idea. Does he have the personality for that kind of pivot?
Well, people do note his charisma. He's articulate. One source suggested he could potentially turn this into a story that helps a lot of people, maybe on bigger platforms.
It definitely raises questions about how people adapt after major public life changes. Okay, let's shift to the public reaction
Yeah.
because this went everywhere.
Oh, it went extremely viral. And, well, as you'd expect online, a lot of insensitive reactions came with it.
I saw some Reddit threads. People were shocked by how graphic the injury looked, but also just hammering that point. Fireworks are not toys.
Right. And the trolling, unfortunately, that's still going on. Some pretty cruel stuff out there.
One big theme that emerged was this idea of poetic justice.
Yeah, that came up a lot. Because of 4Extra's persona, sources point out he kind of built his entire name off of threatening violence.
Right, the stories about jail fights, the controversial stuff.
The whole carrot in his butt story. So the idea that this is the guy known for his hands instilling fear, losing part of his hand, it felt like a simulation, as some put it. Very ironic to many.
And that irony fed into debates about sympathy, didn't it? Like with
Yeah.
Young Hawk and Compton Rickrock.
Exactly. Young Hawk from Hoover publicly called out Compton Rickrock for defending 4Extra.
What was his argument?
Basically questioning why show sympathy, given 4Extra's past, allegedly knocking people out, being aggressive.
But Compton Rickrock pushed back.
Yeah, he argued against, dissing a man that's already down on his luck, basically saying kick him while he's down. Not cool.
How did that end? Because online beefs can get ugly.
Surprisingly well, actually. Young Hawk apparently apologized later, said he was just trolling. Compton Rickrock had apparently called him, gave him some advice about YouTube, so it resolved peacefully.
Huh. That's rare.
Yeah.
Good to hear. But there was also this broader point about who gets sympathy online.
Yeah, some commentators noted that insensitivity often gets directed at people who fit certain labels. Gang members, rappers, podcasters, 4Extra fits all three.
And the point about cowardice, people making jokes now who maybe wouldn't have before.
Right. The idea that people who wouldn't have dissed him in a world in which he had his right arm feel emboldened now, which some see as cowardly.
Even Trell, who also has a missing appendage, reportedly made jokes. That surprised some people.
Yeah, that definitely raised some eyebrows and fueled that particular discussion.
Okay, let's dive deeper now into the why. The causes, the warnings. What kind of firework are we talking about here?
Reports indicate they were M1000s, which are, well, they're serious business, often illegal consumer fireworks.
Like powerful.
Incredibly powerful, sometimes called quarter sticks of dynamite, not something you treat casually.
And they can be faulty. Is that part of it?
Potentially, yes. Sources explain how improper storage, like in cases, can cause gunpowder to leak onto the fuse, the wick.
And what does that do?
Instead of the intended slow burn, maybe 30 seconds, it can cause instant disintegration. Basically, it explodes the second you light it.
Terrifying. Which leads to the handling.
Yeah.
He was holding it.
Yeah, keeping them in his hands, which is absolutely not what you're supposed to do. Recommended practice is place it on the ground, light it, get away fast.
Trying to throw something that powerful.
Yeah.
It's just a recipe for disaster, as one source put it.
Totally. And then there's the setting inside a car.
That's the part I just can't get my head around.
Nobody can, really. It's described as a new level of ignorance. Lighting an M1000, or really any firework, inside a vehicle. It's almost unheard of. Insanely dangerous.
It really suggests a complete lack of understanding of what he was dealing with.
Yeah, treating something incredibly dangerous almost like, well, not like a toy, but maybe like a prop. Or as one source said, handling it like a gun rather than the unstable explosive it is.
What about his personality? Does that play into this risk-taking?
It's interesting. Sources mention that even though he apparently doesn't drink or smoke, he might be a bit of an adrenaline junkie, likes go-karting, things like that. And for him, fireworks might have provided a kind of sensory overload, a fascination that maybe led him to seriously underestimate the risks involved.
So less about impairment, more about thrill-seeking psychology meeting extreme danger.
Could be part of it, yeah. It kind of makes you think about how different people perceive risk, especially when chasing a buzz.
We should probably touch on that conspiracy theory that popped up.
Oh, yeah, the one about Mexicans selling faulty fireworks on purpose to harm black people.
Right. That got shut down pretty quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, dismissed as absurd without evidence by one of the sources we looked at. Just the kind of unfounded stuff that bubbles up sometimes online after big events.
Okay, so wrapping this up, This deep dive into the 4Extra incident, it's just a really stark reminder, isn't it?
Absolutely. About the real serious dangers of consumer fireworks. Follow the instructions, be safe, or honestly, just leave them to the professionals. It's not worth it.
And it goes beyond the physical injury, too. The whole thing sparked this huge, complex conversation online.
Totally. About accountability, about empathy, about what happens when someone with a really provocative public image faces a personal tragedy very publicly.
So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, is this. How does an incident like this, so public, so filled with that dark irony, how does it change things?
Yeah, not just for the individual, for Extra himself and his image, but for the wider conversation about responsibility, how we act online.
And how we react collectively when something awful happens, especially to someone who's courted controversy. What does this deep dive really tell us about that blurry line between online entertainment and, well, devastating real-world consequences?
Yes. Only thing that I'm worried about, punch one of these pussy ass niggas in they mouth. Then they film and they'll upload it. Suckers do anything for that clout. They'll trick you out of your position if you ain't gained up and you ain't here watching out. Internet bloggers, internet gangsters, who the snitches? I can't tell. On the dead homies and enemies podcast, the only podcast that I know won't tell. But I ain't tripping, I just pay attention to my own little business and I get the smell. I'm in another state, making another plate. Big plat place on my state. A plush hotel, just counting mail. I do this shit